DeCosta trying to keep Mark Brown away from the ball.
Double team. Herder's got it. Takes the long-range jumper. No go. McCoy under the basket, and he scores with 1 second left, and the clock rolls out.
I've always said this about the '89 team. We had the right pieces to make a successful group. We had a great point guard in Mark Brown. We had a great wing player in Jeff Robinson. We had the tough inside player in Steve McCoy. We had a great shot blocker in Monty Henderson. And then we kind of had 3 or 4 other guys, myself included, that kind of filled in the gaps. Every once in a while we'd have a great game, but we weren't expected to have put up big numbers. Those guys, those 3 guys were kind of our leaders. So we had the stars, we had the role players, but we also had guys that bought in. We had a great coaching staff. Mike Dean did a great job preparing us that year. We all individually got better from the prior year when we got beat, and collectively we were so much better.
Siena College is a small, Catholic, liberal arts school located in Loudonville, New York, approximately 15 minutes outside of the city of Albany. Siena's basketball team was the center of the universe for students, administration, and the Albany community alike. But prior to 1989, Siena College was relatively unknown to the rest of the world. After the 1989 season, that all changed. While Siena missed out on a conference championship the year prior, they were lucky enough to return a team full of veteran leaders.
We had a talented group that had a year under their belts that was pretty deep at every position.
Siena lost 2 of their first 3 games, but quickly turned it around.
We just kept getting better and better and a little bit more cohesive through winning. And winning breeds winning. Losing breeds losing, and mediocrity breeds mediocrity. Well, we managed to get that thing going, and then the guys didn't believe they were going to lose.
You kind of just playing naturally, and things just fell into place.
Their winning streak now 11 straight, and I think I heard it was number 2 in the nation in Division I. I know Virginia's won 14 or 16, something like that, and so Siena's up there with the big boys in some of their statistical categories.
But Siena's winning streak wouldn't be the only story on campus. On February 10, 1989, the first case of the measles virus was reported at Siena by sophomore guard Mike Brown. Shortly after, cases would also be reported at the University of Hartford.
Measles is a highly communicable, dangerous, potentially fatal disease.
Scary, actually. Once a few people on campus came up with the measles, and obviously Mike Brown, my former teammate, had the measles. We all had to get immunization shots. So it was a fear of possibly canceling the season.
So, we ended up having to have some precautions, and we had to take a lot of steps, and we had to spend a lot of money, but we were able to continue playing.
It developed. The impact it had on Northeastern would not play us, if you can remember. Involved guy, and I had to temper that a little bit because you could hear me whisper with the court completely empty.
You heard the coaches a little too much. You heard them yelling and screaming every single word, which obviously when you have a big crowd, you could tune that out, but you couldn't tune that out in an empty gym.
We could really hear our coach. and that was both good and bad. So, and I also remember he cleaned up his language quite a bit because some of our games were actually on TV. Our home court advantage was one of the best, definitely in the Northeast. You know, the Arc was, you know, the capacity was probably 4,000 fans, and we always had at least 1,000 to 1,200 students, which were really rowdy. In fact, before we changed our name, they were called the TP Rowdies because we used to be the Indians. And the fans were just, they were great. I mean, they were everything you wanted in a college student supporting their, you know, basketball programs.
Ever since the initial case was detected on Siena's suburban Albany, New York campus back on February 10th, the ECAC North Atlantic Conference has literally been plagued by the measles. So for the past 3 days, only coaches, players, tournament officials, and members of the media have watched in relative silence the ECAC North Atlantic Conference tournament. Welcome, everyone, to an empty and hopefully antiseptic Hartford Civic Center.
But just the championship game, hearing that, and having so much on the line, and having, I'm counting players, media, and officials, there couldn't have been more than 100 people in the 15,000 seat building. So it was a strange feeling.
So our goal was to get to the NCAA tournament because we felt that we let one slip away the previous year.
Play that kind of defense, though.
But it's been very effective for them. Great.
Run a lot of stuff, though. Costa doing a good job.
9-3, Boston U on top. 15:55 left, and McCoy changes that. For Siena, big number 4-0 from Paris, France. Drive to the hoop. Oh, Henderson with a jam over the top. Played Duke in the opening round of the NCAAs last year and played them tough.
There's that jersey.
They're just mauling each other in the paint.
Wondering.
Boy, I tell you, now it's up to Mike Dean to regroup and determine what he needs to do in the last 15 seconds.
Tom is there, okay? Now, Mark, you're going to fake in and go long if there's nobody back. Tom, you're going to screen here for Jeff, who's going to come in and get it. And then, Mark, you've got to come back. Michael, you're going up the sideline. Mac, you're stepping back in. We've got to just look and make sure we come to every pass. Make sure we come to every pass.
Plenty of time.
Yesterday, they switched all the screens, so you got to be ready to roll back.
All right, Coach, your thoughts at this point with 15 left.
It looks like he's running a 1-4. 4 guys across the foul line, and they'll let Mark Brown go deep and then post up in the middle of the floor. And of course, the opposite man on the sideline is going to go long, and they're asking everybody to step to the ball. Siena with 1 timeout. It sounds like they're going to go and try and get a shot off the set. DeCosta trying to keep Mark Brown away from the ball.
Double team. Herter's got it. Takes the long-range jumper. No go. McCoy under the basket, and he scores with 1 second left, and the clock rolls out.
And I remember I wasn't sure how much time was left, so just remember trying to take a dribble and just getting off some type of shot. And you know, obviously it didn't go in, but you know, Steve McCoy was right there and you know, put the ball in, which, you know, it was great for Steve because as a senior, you know, he goes out making the game-winning basket to put us into the NCAAs for the first time, but also against Boston University. He's a Boston guy, so it gave him bragging rights. So.
And I really don't remember what the play was. I just remember seeing the ball go in the net, seeing time expire, and that was one of the highlights, obviously, of my career.
Campus was so excited. They took 12 buses from here, fans and students, drove to North Carolina to see the game, and they went overnight. They didn't stop. We get off our bus and going into this tunnel into the arena. It's got a chain link fence around it. And the buses from campus pull in at that time, and all these kids have been on this bus for so long, they just come pouring off the bus. And we're starting to walk down this chain link tunnel, and they all come running up, and they're jumping on the chain link fence. It's like it's a Beatles concert or something like that, you know. And it's incredible. And everybody's got goosebumps, and all of a sudden you can see these guys that are, you know, they get their bags and they're walking, and all of a sudden you see guys start straightening up, their shoulders square, their heads lift. And it was a special feeling. It really was, you know, and all these kids are supporting them and everything, and it was really cool.
Time. I think that my fondest memory, though, was definitely the feeling I had when we finally came out of to warm up and had people in the crowd. That was the biggest, you know, we were so excited. I mean, after 10 games, I don't think many people realize how tough it is to play a game without spectators, when all you have are the people at the scores table, the 2 coaches, and the training staff. So, I mean, it felt like we were born again. You know, that's the kind of only way to describe it. It felt like I was being born again, playing in front of fans in North Carolina in that atmosphere on CBS, obviously national TV. So it was a great day.
Now Mike Dean takes a timeout.
They will come down with a very soft press, and the last thing he said was, don't foul.
Brown hits them both for 32 points. Now Stanford going for the win here. A three-pointer by Taylor. No good. Siena's done it. They've upset Stanford. The final score in Greensboro, the Siena Saints 80 and the Stanford Cardinal 78.